Shalom Aleichem, everyone. We're continuing Hachzeg's learning of the Pele Yoetz, day number 250. 250 amazing days in the Musar and the Hashkafa and the Torah outlook of the Pele Yoetz. I hope that it's changing your life as well as giving me a lot of chizuk, changing my perspective on things as well, helping for personal growth and to sharpen the mind and the heart and the neshama, that we should be better Avdei Hashem. We're going to round off the chapter today of Hava, of loaning money to others. And he writes like this: if you end up loaning money on a mashkan with some kind of collateral, you need to express with words, explain with your words. And the signature of the borrower, if the borrower does not repay you at the appointed time, so then I, the malva, the lender, will be entitled to sell the mashkain, the collateral, without the permission of the bezdin. Even if I would like to sell it on what's called the seller's market, which means I could sell it for underprice, I'll get less money. It doesn't matter. You owe me the money that you borrowed. You don't have the money, so I can take the mashkan. I can take this nice watch that you gave me, sell it for whatever I want, so I can get the appropriate amount of money. And on top of that, the mashkan, this collateral, is still within the financial responsibility of the loive. And we believe him, whatever he says. He says, yes, he signs away on the document over here. That means that if I have the mashkain and something happens to it, it's his problem, it's not going to be my problem. And therefore, always make sure you write this down clearly in a document, so that instead of him doing good, which he's trying to help somebody else, bad ends up coming his way because they try to wiggle their way out. The lender will end up trying, the borrower will try to wiggle his way out of having to pay up. And the lender will regret that he tried to be such a nice guy, because at the end of the day he loses out on the mashkain. So make sure you write everything out clearly, says the Pele Yoetz. He's giving you very good advice over here. And other people shouldn't have complaints about him. Make sure that this is the way that you do things. And the proper way to lend money with a mashkain, the money that you set aside for this particular loan, give it to a third party, and you command him, listen, I want you to loan him the money. There must be a mashkon, and he has to sign on the document to make sure that we're going to get the money back. And you tell him how to do it. Can't do it without a mashkon, and has to be explicitly written. Like we said, then there's no way for anybody to complain against you. The shaliach, the messenger, is just doing what you asked him to do. And he cannot change your words, which means if the borrower gets upset and he says, "Oh, you're going to take my mashkon?" I didn't take your mashkon. I gave it to my shaliach, to the messenger. He's the one that arranged the whole deal with you. He has to do whatever he said he has to do, and the shaliach is the one that's going to come and get the mashkon from you, or sell it and get the money. For our Rabbi Chazal teach us, when a person loans a seller a coin to a poor man when the time is pressing upon him, who's the upon him that the time is pressing? Says the Gemara, Kasav Omer, the pasuk says, "As tikra v'Hashem ya'aneh." If you call out to Hashem, He's going to answer. Teshava v'yomi hineni. You call out, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, "Here I am." Who are we talking about? Upesham hameforshim. The Ritzonim leimar, it means b'shas dacha koishal malva, when the lender himself was pressed for funds. And still, he pushed himself to loan the money to somebody else. He pushed himself to loan the money out to this poor man. So he then is going to be the beneficiary of that mesiras nefesh of making a loan, and therefore he's going to get the brachas min hashamayim. Umitzvahs hava einoi rak b'mois. Loaning money is not the only mitzvah of hava, of lending. Rather, even merchandise. You can lend merchandise to a person who needs it. If you give it to him on credit, and you don't give it to him more expensive than it really is. You give it to him your wholesale price, that's what you give it to him for. Now you did a mitzvah. Instead of loaning the money, you lent him this merchandise. He can go now and he can sell it and he'll make the money back. A world of chesed you are building when you do things so nicely. Even though that lending merchandise on credit is things that we do even with the goyim as well. And it's not as difficult for a person to part with his merchandise when he gave it to someone for them to sell than it is to part with his money and give it as a loan. It's very easy to fulfill this great mitzvah. Like it says, and I believe this week's parsha, when your brother is impoverished, and his means begin to falter, he doesn't have what he needs, so you will strengthen him. This is the greatest of tzedakahs, when you can give over to another yid the money, the merchandise, whatever it is that they need. That's a great mitzvah that you are performing. If it's possible, you should give him over this merchandise for less money than you're selling it to others, so that when he sells it and he makes profit, so he gets to keep all the profits for himself, and then he gives you back the care and the principal amount. On the verse, when you sell a sale, what does that mean? You should give him this merchandise on credit, and you should charge him, when you're giving it, a lesser price, so that he himself should be able to go and sell it and be marviach and make a profit. And only get the money back from him little by little. Every little coin is mitzvah, it all adds up to the ultimate fund, to a larger amount, which means don't even take the money all at once. You gave him merchandise that's worth $20,000, and you gave it to him at a lesser price so he can make more money, and now you're coming to retrieve the funds. Take little by little, let the guy hold on to his cash as long as he can. Keep selling, keep making, keep giving. Don't worry, at the end of the day, you're going to get it all back. And it could be that this will be the cause for you to be sustained and to get your parnasa, your livelihood, with honor and dignity, miyagi kappa, from the hard work. Sorry, says the Pele Yoetz, that's not what he said. What he's saying is that if you do it in this way for the poor man, maybe that itself will be the way, the siba, the cause, that the poor person will make a little and a little and a little, and then that's going to allow him to amass more and more, and that's how he's going to become a wealthy man himself. Like it says in Mishlei, somebody who chases after tzedakah v'chesed, yimsa chayim tzedakah v'chavod, he will find life, tzedakah v'chavod, and he'll find honor. So it's going to be good in both cases over here. Let's see this again. What it really means over here is that the Pele Yoetz is quoting this pasuk from Mishlei to tell you that if you will be kind and you will lend the money in the proper way, and you will give the poor man a chance to be able to make a living for himself, and you will be generous in the way that you give and the like, so it will come back to you. You will find Chaim, life, tzedakah, and kavod. Says the Pele Yoetz, but it's better that you should find a job that does not have to rely upon giving people merchandise on credit. Shai Rabbi saying Chazal teach us Tav Kara Mikare. It's better a small gourd than a large gourd. Perish Rashi, what does that mean? Toiv Ma'ad Revach. It's better to make a little bit of money. Biyad, when you have it in your hand, Meharbe Ba'akav, than to make a lot on credit. Because at least you have the money right now. As we'll see, what's the problem of credit? One chassid, one pious individual said, Shayu Mispalel, he used to daven, Harachaman yatzileni mi pizar nefesh. Hashem should save me from pizar nefesh and my soul being spread out all over the place. What does that mean? That I know pizar mamoinai, if my money's spread out, shu pizar nefesh, that's going to be that my nefesh, my soul, I have a peace of mind, nothing, spread out all over the place as well. Because I'm going to be traveling around to go and get the the credits, to get the merchandise back, the money back. It's going to be very difficult. So these people are going to have to go to far off places, put their foot to the road, as they say, on dangerous pathways, in order to get their money back. And they could say that what? With our nevish, with our soul, we're putting out so much, that's how we're getting our food. Meaning it's going to be very difficult. You're pushing and pushing and pushing. Better to have dried out bread and eat it peacefully than having a lot of bread, but having it with the pressures of business and the like. It's the blessing of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that brings you your wealth, so don't worry about it any other way. Decree that you're going to be a wealthy man. So a person will not lose out by working less, and he will not reduce what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants him to have. So therefore, you just do your job. You don't have to work too hard, do too much. You just do your job in the right way. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu decrees a person will have exactly what they need. All the best.